Welcome to another episode where I share some of the best practices on what's working for our current 80 clinics for both weight loss and stem cells. Today, at the house in Miami, Florida, we're going to be talking about the best practices for semaglutide in specific and GLP-1 medications and how the industry has changed over the past year and a half. So let me be very clear. This is what used to happen, and this is what was normal back 1 year ago when we were marketing for our clients. So we would have simply put a ad that we're running that leads to a booking page. Here it is, with a confirmation. That was all that was needed 1 year ago. You would have maybe a confirmation video just explaining how the program works, explaining how you can help the sort of the clinic, whether again you're doing telemedicine or you're a cash-based brick and mortar practice. At this point, you would have just a bunch of reminders, SMS, emails, and then you would just wait for the person to show up to the appointment. You would take your usual consultation, go through a marketing, go through the sales process, going through the discovery, what's currently going on with their weight, what have they tried in the past, how long has this been going on for, where they want to be at, what's stopping them, what's preventing them, how is this affecting them, the people around them, how does that make them feel? And then you would just get into presenting the program and selling the patient. Very standardized process. I still know some clinics are doing pretty well with this process. Now, this has changed tremendously over the past year with what works, especially at scale, because the truth is they can all work once you're a smaller scale, but once you start spending above $10,000 a month in advertising specifically, you really need to find something that could be beneficial at scale. And just from what we've seen, this really isn't the right process at scale. Why? Because the show rates are naturally going to be more down. If you're doing brick and mortar, you could take deposits, but again, then you're going to be missing on 80% of the leads that simply didn't trust you enough to put down a deposit, that don't even book an appointment. So again, definitely works for anything below $10,000 a month in advertising, but what you're probably experiencing if you're spending any more is that, maybe you have an agency, but they're running the same generic static image ads. The process is kind of working, but it fluctuates between good months and very slow months. I want to show you a process today that is replicable. We use this among all of our clients and scalable. Okay. And we call this the celebrity funnel. Let me break down how it works. So the most important thing is, no, you don't have to do any dumb dancing videos on Instagram. You don't need to have a big following, and you don't even need to do daily content every single day. I know many clinics usually don't have a dedicated staff member that does their content, and they're usually not that open to it. I still think it's important, don't get me wrong, but honestly, this doesn't really have that much of an impact like a lot of people would want you to believe. What we're gonna go through is how this increases your conversions, your trust, and overall your efficiency in scaling. Because like we said before, the problem with that process is, of course, it works. I've seen a lot of clinics working with it, but it's not scalable. You're not going to be able to scale it past $10,000 a month in profitable ad spend simply because it's not an efficient process. All right, so let me guide you through this process. The way it works is you would run your ad, and I'm gonna have some disclaimers. You need to be very clear with who you're trying to message. We have some of our clients where we simply focus on corporate men. We have other clients where we simply focus on busy moms trying to lose weight, which obviously is one of the biggest pieces of the market. We have ones where we focus on moms that just have their first child. And the whole reason why we do that is Facebook has made a huge update in the algorithm. It's called Andromeda. And the way it works is it changes from targeting with settings to messaging. Okay, so what I mean by that is your messaging in your ad is now your targeting. And this has been terrible for people that don't have good messaging in their ad, because Facebook is not able to show the ad to the right people, but it's been incredibly helpful for our clients because we do their messaging, because we really focus on delivering a piece of information to the right audience and Facebook can understand it. Let me break down, first of all, before we get into the ad portion, how is the messaging so important and how does it even work now? So Facebook now has their own AI and it does two things when it comes to the messaging. The first one is it reads the ad. If you're running a video ad, which I hope you are, then it's going to be scanning the transcript, seeing what you're saying. This is how Facebook is able to restrict some ads and approve others. It simply grabs the transcript. So I know there's a lot of companies that tell you, well, look, we say whatever non-compliant thing in the ad and it doesn't get caught. Well, first of all, that's going to get you sued. And then second of all, not true. Facebook scans everything, they get the transcript, and if they cannot get the transcript, they're not going to approve your ad. So don't even try and play with it. So it reads the ad or it grabs the transcript and it reads your landing page. Can't stress this enough. You all think that Facebook doesn't read your content, that it doesn't take a look at your Instagram, your messages that you send, your landing page. Those are all things that Facebook is going to be scanning when you're running an ad, simply because it wants you to make more money so that you can spend more money on the platform. So it tries to be as clear as it possibly can get so that it's able to target the right people that you want to target. And the whole reason why you wouldn't want to go mass market is that when you're trying to target everybody, you're essentially targeting nobody. That's why we really focus on taking a specific subset of a niche and really trying to deliver a message for them. I'm going to give you an example with moms that just had their first child. It's an ad. It's a client that we just launched. It's doing very, very well. We're spending about $20,000 a month in advertising with profitably at about a 4 to 5x ROAS. Again, we don't guarantee these results. I'm just sharing the best practices and truly what's working for them. Okay, so we're running an ad specifically targeting moms that just had the first child. And in a separate video, we're going to go through what are the frameworks that we use to build the ad and target the right demographic. As you know, there's 5 levels of awareness. There's multiple ways and frameworks in which you can approach your ad. On a separate video, we're going to go through the best practices into building your own video ads and how to make them perform at the best. So you run an ad and your CTA, your call to action, is not going to be for them to book a call. We genuinely do not care about them booking a call, but we want to get them into a quiz. I want to be clear when I say this. This is direct response. We are primarily talking to the 3% here. And then we have some retargeting content on the side to get that 3% to convert. So we have our ads as well into our strategy that just retarget these people that have taken action but haven't converted, as well as an accelerator, right? So I don't want to digress too much, but we also have specific forms of content and types of advertising which we use to get people below that 3% that are aware of their problem, are a little bit aware of the solution, but they haven't really checked into it. But again, I don't want to digress too much. Mainly I want to talk about how the funnel works and the structure and how it's different from what you've seen. So you have your quiz, and essentially this is an intake form. So you would ask your most frequently asked questions such as medical conditions. You would ask for height, weight, so you can calculate the BMI. You would ask for other questions, specifically if you're looking to upsell them into other treatments. We do this for a lot of our clients. We ask them how good their sleep is. We ask them about other specific questions that just gives us more data and information on who we're speaking to, first of all. And then second of all, what could we be selling to them? At the end, if they qualify, obviously we can have financial qualifiers as well. At the end, here's how it works. We direct everybody to a checkout page, okay? So the way this works is we have a scale and we can show them how soon it's gonna take them to drop their weight. Okay, so we can literally tell them, hey, this is how long it can take you to drop this weight based on what we know. It's possible. And then below, they simply have a checkout for both semaglutide and tirzepatide. We currently do not advertise for retatrutide just because it's not FDA approved. We don't really believe in it. I've heard some very good feedbacks about it. I haven't heard the best feedback about it from other people. But yeah, mainly it's something that we would sell in the back end, not really on the front end, just for compliance purposes and other reasons. It's much better to just sell semaglutide and tirzepatide on the front end as GLP-1 medications. All right, at this time, yes, as I said, they can just go ahead and they can buy. Obviously, Quick tip, make sure you have Apple Pay and PayPal for an increase in your conversions. You would be amazed. We have seen up to 70% increases in conversions just by adding Apple Pay and PayPal. So make sure your payment processor does support that. In case it doesn't, you can just reach out to us. That is also something that we help you with. Now, let me break down some of the best practices with this because, yeah, it may seem very cool, I understand, but there's definitely a lot of problems that can incur into this. Maybe you've tried this funnel already. I can tell you by far, based on all the funnels that we tried, and we tried pretty much everything between cold funnels, opt-in funnels, webinars, events, challenges, free books, we have tried it all. Let me show you where the biggest problems are with this. Well, first of all, we just talked about this, your marketing message. If you're not good at speaking to your avatar, your ads are not going to convert, simply put. And the copy in the advertising, in the funnel, has to be congruent. This is such a basic piece of advice, but it's one of the most important. Go to your website right now. Take a look at what it says. Does it align with the person you're trying to target? Or are you just running the same cheap discounts? And the biggest reasons why you're not getting patients that are willing to spend is simply because you're not able to target them. You're not able to message to them. This is not about zip codes. It's not about how much money they have. It's about the type of person that they are. You'd be amazed. We've had clients applying for 12-month financing packages just so that they could buy our most expensive treatments for our clients, where we have health coaching, we have weight loss, we have supplements, NAD+, you name it. And they bought it even if their financial situation wasn't on point. Why? Because those patients cared about their health, first of all, and they understood that if they were to prioritize their health as the first thing, they would make more money. This isn't something about zip codes. It's about the person that you're targeting. It's about how able you are at delivering a message to them. And that's obviously one of the things that we help with at my company, is we help you get really clear on who you want to target and how to target them efficiently. And again, the way you do this is, we're going to go through this on another video. It's just going to be about speaking about their pain, their current situation, circumstances, and then the outcomes, what they really want to get out of. Okay, marketing message is the first one. Being able to communicate to the right type of person through content, through speaking. It's not something that you would do through an image. Usually we haven't seen them to be working, and they fatigue pretty fast. Again, if you're spending $100 a day on advertising, sound good. If you're spending anything above $10,000 to $20,000, we have clients that are spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month in advertising with. We would have to change 2 to 3 images per day. It really doesn't make sense for us, and they just end up converting at the least. They usually get you more leads, but all you care about is your cost per acquisition. How much does it cost you to acquire a patient? And videos are going to be substantially better when it comes to, first of all, the longevity of your ad, and then second of all, your cost per acquisition, because you're able to build more trust and patients trust you more. I don't want to digress too much, so let's get into this. Marketing message is the first one, and then we have salespeople plus personalization. Okay, let's go through this. As a marketer, we are very good at, like I just said multiple times in this video, delivering a message that's congruent with your brand. And we do it through multiple kinds of ways. We do it through content, we do it through ads, we do it through the copy on our funnel, we do it through the emails that we send out and all the text reminders. We really focus and genuine care about targeting the right type of individual for your treatments. But at the same time, marketing is not going to be 100% of your acquisition. You still need to have salespeople. I see this so often where you have this type of funnel right here. Very cool funnel, again, don't get me wrong. But then you have people that get into the checkout and they don't buy, and you don't follow up with them. And you just hope that marketing is going to do it, and that we can send out a few text reminders and a few emails, and that would be it. No, it doesn't work like that. You need salespeople. And when I say salespeople, I'm not talking about people that have sold door-to-door, real estate, or your buddy. No, it doesn't work like that. You need salespeople that have sold to marketing leads online in the past. And you need them to be experienced, because the whole sales process is completely different. You really need to focus on building the trust. You need to focus on the discovery and understanding the current stage of that person, where they want to go, and what's the gap in between, what's preventing them. That's really what the salesperson does. And they follow up relentlessly, multiple times a day. We have clients with an upward of 7 to 8x on the return on ad spend. The same thing for my own company. We have about a 13 to 14x return on our ad spend. I don't say this to brag. I just say this because, yeah, I'm very good at marketing. I agree with that. But a lot of it is going to come down to your salespeople and how you follow up with them. So let me break down and give you some of the best practices. Where obviously, first of all, you want to call them on the phone. You would want to have a specific dedicated salesperson on a commission basis, not base salary, not your average Filipino, a US based salesperson on a commission basis that calls leads. And if you've tried this before and maybe you've churned a salesperson, it was simply because the quality of the people that you were getting was not good. And that leads me back to point one, which is your marketing message. If you do that well, you're going to have the high quality people. That's why I put so much emphasis so far in the video. Number one, they can call. And number two, they can SMS and email. We typically recommend about 16 to 18 emails in total. We call them value dense emails because we don't focus on trying to sell them. We more focus about showing that we can solve their problem and demonstrating it in the email. And I want to be very clear when I say this, SMS and emails have to be sent from their personal and have to be personalized. The salesperson would read the application, the quiz that we just talked about, and they would send out customized SMS and emails based on that person. Now, obviously on our side, we're going to be sending some of the automated SMS and emails that still convert a high percentage because we're simply talking to the same person, but the salesperson is going to be able to provide an additional level of depth that's required for conversions. Number three, you've now sorted out your quality of the people by making sure the marketing messaging is on point. You've now sorted out the follow-up process by having a salesperson for the people that don't convert right away. Again, some people are going to be converting right away here, but typically that's about a 5% that we see. We don't really see anything more. We've tried everything to get it above 5%, but that's usually what you can expect. 5% of your leads are going to be buying right away, and now you have the additional 95%. And this is for your salespeople right here. And this is what you want to be focusing on for the most part. Number three, usually your website sucks, okay? Meaning, like I said before, go to your website and take a look if you are attracting cheap leads with a discount, if you're communicating well to the type of person, and if you even have a call to action. And then number four, this is really about marketing, and this is not something your average marketer is going to be able to do. Maybe you've tried hiring in-house marketers and they have no idea about what this is. We call this data optimization buckets. You can tell Facebook nowadays what you're trying to get out of your ad. Okay, so what I mean by that is you have leads, which you can be optimizing for. You have sales. You have registration. Those are separate things. They're not leads. You have checkout initiated, which is cart abandoned. It's the same thing. So what I'm trying to communicate to you here is you have different buckets where you can optimize for. And if you're optimizing for leads, maybe this is going to give you the highest cost per acquisition and sales is going to give you the lowest, but you don't really know. One of the biggest problems that I see is most marketers are sending back all the data to the pixel. What you need to be doing is you only need to send out the right type of data. So we had an underperforming client, I want to be very honest, last month, and we were spending about $15,000 and only getting about a 1.5x ROAS. So it wasn't working that well. We strangled the pixel from data. We literally removed any standard events that would send data back to the pixel. Again, to be clear, the pixel is an AI machine from Facebook that just takes a look at the data that it gets back and says, okay, this person is qualified. They came in as a lead. I'm going to get you more of those. When you're not getting the right type of person that you want to be getting, what you need to do is strangle the pixel. Do not give it any data. And the way it works is Facebook has multiple buckets. So they have certain type of buckets of people. Let's just say that they have 6, but obviously they have tens and tens of thousands specifically for your ad. So Facebook tries bucket 1. It brings very low quality people. You strangle it from the data. What does Facebook think? Facebook isn't getting any data back, even though you're getting conversion and leads. Well, Facebook is going to think, oh shoot, I was wrong. Let me get into bucket number 2. And bucket number 2 doesn't work. You strangle it from the data. Bucket number 3 crashes. It works so well. What happens? Facebook hasn't seen any data here because you haven't sent it back. And so it's going to rotate the buckets. And here it gets a lot of data. It gets almost all the data back because those people are qualified, and for you, or generating a good cost per acquisition. Facebook will focus on this and bringing you the right people. So again, to recap, I know this can seem a little bit complicated. I want my videos to be really in depth with the things that we go through and the strategies that we use when it comes to scaling to $10, $20, $30, $40,000 a month in advertising, simply because this is what's needed. And a 1% improvement could lead to a few $1,000s a month, or it could lead up to tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in increase. So if you want me to come in as a growth partner on a revenue share basis and help you scale your practice, you can click the link down below. Go through, fill out the application. We'll be very happy to talk with you.